control.
And we've got now the, as you described with Owen Benjamin, the proxy soldiers of the oligarchs. We now have our own gay prime minister, and regardless of his sexual orientation like that, but he will push and enforce that ethos that is being pushed on us with the transgenderism, the diversity, but it's just a useful tool. It's there to control us, to make us, as I find, and many other YouTubers. I know you were on recently with the Don and critiqued, and it was a fascinating conversation there again in Ireland as well. But I wanted to try and hone in on how the language now, that we're so controlled and we are nearing towards critical mass as they are in Germany, where people are definitely afraid to speak or say anything out of turn. Even though when you step outside your front door, as I found when I walked the streets, the reality is completely different to what the media portrays as to what can be said. You know, Germany is, and I have great affection, as I say, I was there, loved the German people and of that time in the 90s, but to see it now sort of emasculated, and it's disheartening to speak about it. But I want to mention, Dr. Jones, I did go to a beer festival, and what is being spoken about there is that the younger generations, the young 15s up to 20-year-olds, are actually coming back to their conservatism. They actually go back to the natural attire, the traditional clothings when they go to the beer fest. Whereas before they were very laissez-faire, they might wear jeans and t-shirts. Now they're braiding their hair, they're wearing the girls are wearing the dresses in more so, and they're trying to re-establish their culture, because I feel the middle generation, whatever generation that is, the political class has them completely kowtowed. So yes. I see it as an expression of the new rising in conservatism in Europe as it is, as it's becoming now. Now before you mention on that again, I'm fascinated by this logos, and I would love for you just to explain my Irish viewers the use of reason to come to an understanding, to talk about the things that we cannot talk about, the sacred cows that the Big Bear smashes, that Vox Day. I don't know if you've spoken about Vox Day. Him and Big Bear are in collaboration, breaking away from YouTube, and then Roosh's understanding of how it took him a lifetime. I was pretty much in that similar sort of track that Roosh experienced, that multiple partners and all that kind of stuff. But when I was committed in a relationship, I was committed because I still had my Catholic ethos that I was raised upon. So monogamy was very important to me, trust and love. But when the relationship disintegrated, you know, the herd mentality was there again, and you followed what would seem to be cool. You know, to not appreciate monogamy, the family, the strength in friendships and community. You went back to this hedonism again.
Yeah, let's go back to what I said about the priest. Did you do it because the priest said so? Well, the question is, why did the priest say so? The priest said that because he was a member of the Catholic Church, which was established by Jesus Christ on earth to guide us to salvation. Now, the crucial moment in history came when St. John wrote his gospel in Greek, because what he did by doing that was adopt all of previous Greek philosophy, baptized it, said it was worthy to continue, and also we need this language to understand God. And what's the primary word we need to understand God? It's logos. And so we have the Gospel of St. John beginning with the sentence, in the beginning there was logos. Now, I didn't understand. That's not what you read in the Bible. You read in the Bible, in the beginning there was the word. Well, logos does mean word. That's true. But if you say in the beginning was the word, I haven't the faintest idea of what you're talking about. Okay? And then you say, and the word was with God, and the word was God. Okay, I still don't understand what you're talking about. And I did not understand what he was talking about until I got to college and I started studying Greek. And then I suddenly opened the Liddell Scott Greek Dictionary, and there are 5 pages of English equivalents to the one word, Greek word, logos. And I suddenly realized there is a whole universe, literally, behind this word. Logos is literally talks about the order of the universe. This is what the Greeks did on their own. The Hebrews had God as their tutor. God would talk to the Hebrews. God spoke to Moses face to face. And when Moses asked him who he was, God said, I am who am, which means I am self-subsistent being. Well, Parmenides among the Greeks was talking about being. He's the first man who really understood being, and he said, that which is cannot come from that which is not, which is a profound statement. And you see this moving ahead, and what St. John did was basically unite these two streams of thought into the most powerful vehicle for Logos in the history of mankind, which is the Catholic Church. So why did the priests say it? Because it was true, and because it was the Logos, and the Catholic Church is the vehicle of Logos. So now we all have to grow up and realize, well, just because the priest did something bad doesn't mean you can throw out what he said, because it goes a lot deeper than that. And if you want to use that as an excuse to go screw somebody at the gay disco, well, you can do that because the will is free, but all you're doing is locking yourself in your own cell. And that's the moment we have reached right now. When you talk to people like Roosh, Roosh decided to go out and screw as many women as he could. He was the Don Juan of the 21st century. Nell'Espagna, 1003. Okay, he had he screwed 1,003 women in Spain alone. Okay, and he woke up and realized, I'm not happy. How is this possible? How can I not be happy doing this? And suddenly he came to understand that there is a logos to sex as well. Okay, now the fundamental fact about the logos of sex is between a man and a woman. Okay, so I guarantee you, if you're having sex at the gay disco, you are not going to be happy. You're not even close. There is no remote possibility of this leading to any type of happiness. If you're having sex with a woman, there are certain, there's a logos to that as well. There is a logos to the human body. Sex was meant to be between a man and a woman. It was meant, it creates this bond. You feel attracted to these people, you know, and that's because to fulfill this, there has to be a lifelong bond.
And the creation of life, ultimately the creation of life.
That's right. The next thing I was going to say is, and the next logos of sex is it leads to the creation of new life. So if you exclude that possibility of new life, you're acting like a homosexual, and you will end up unhappy like a homosexual. And by that, I mean the use of contraception. Every single act of intercourse has to be within a marriage between a man and a woman who are open to new life. If it is not all of those things, it will lead to unhappiness sooner or later.